With a decline in rice consumption, stockpiles have been increasing, leading to a rise in illegal distribution practices. Some companies are falsifying production years and milling dates to pass off old rice as new harvest rice.
쌀 소비 감소 등으로 재고량이 쌓이면서 부정유통 행위가 늘고 있습니다. 일부 업체에서는 생산연도와 도정날짜 등을 조작해 묵은 쌀을 햅쌀로 둔갑시키고 있습니다. So, first of all,
Yes.
it's interesting that the consumption, people are not eating as much rice.
Yes. Traditionally, of course,
Yeah.
the Korean people eat a lot of rice.
Right.
But because the population itself is starting to decrease a little bit and younger people are eating less rice and more bread products
Yes,
and
noodles,
pasta
yeah.
and all of these different types of carb sources, not just rice. So because there are fewer people eating rice, but there are still a lot of farmers making rice, growing rice.
Right.
There is now a surplus where not all the rice is sold during a year.
Yeah, they have too much. It's interesting. 묵은 쌀 그다음에 햅쌀. 이런 뭐 이제 항상 이렇게 그 표지 보면은 햅쌀 이렇게
Yes.
나오는데 so that you would say like new harvest rice or this year's harvest?
Right. So the expression 햅쌀 in English is a little awkward.
Yes.
So this is kind of the least awkward expression I could come up with.
I agree.
New harvest rice.
you did
This
good.
year's rice could definitely work as well.
Yeah.
But if it isn't this year's rice, we would probably just say old rice.
Old
this
rice.
묵은 쌀, right?
Yeah,
Or-
okay, very good. Yeah. So they're changing the dates.
Yes. So there were 4 cases that have come up where they just changed the label. It's old rice from last year or, a couple of years past.
Yeah.
And they just said 햅쌀 on it. They just put new harvest rice, this year's rice on it.
Oh no.
So there are 4 where it was out and out, just absolute fraud. But there are other cases where they are kind of separating or mixing.
Mixing. I would think mixing happens. Yeah.
Or what they're doing is putting it in packages where it's hard to tell what type of rice it is.
Oh, really?
So people may assume that it's 햅쌀, that it's the new harvest rice, but it doesn't say it on the package.
So it's a little deceiving.
Yeah.
It's a little tricky.
They make it a little confusing to see. Or other things where they don't have the location where it was grown.
I see.
Those types of things. So you
Okay.
have to be very careful. You have to look at the package and make sure that they're telling you the things that they say on the package is true.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so mill is an important word because they're changing the milling date. So first of all, let's talk about the word mill, M-I-L-L. Now, that is also a noun and a verb.
Yes. So mill, you could think of like a 방앗간, right?
Yes.
That would be the place. And if you add stone to it, a millstone would be a 맷돌, right?
Good.
So it's all about these grains and processing them. Here, though, with the rice that you're milling, if you're going to mill rice, it's 도정하다. And it's not exactly crushing, right? So another word we can say is polish. So when you polish metal, so 광을 내다, 윤을 내다,
Yes.
it's the same word in English. You're getting out that outer layer of the rice and only leaving that white, really yummy part to eat.
Starchy.
The starchy,
sugary
wonderful
rice.
carbohydrate rich.
Oh, there's nothing like a good bowl, a nice bowl of like white, fresh rice.
Fluffy, warm rice.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right, let me read that again. With a decline in rice consumption, stockpiles have been increasing, leading to a rise in illegal distribution practices. Some companies are falsifying production years and milling dates to pass off old rice as new harvest rice.